Hi everyone, welcome to my 9th live stream. So for those of you who haven't done one of these live streams with me before, the format that I like to do is I'll read your comments out loud and then answer them. So if you're not the one who asked me, you can still keep track with the conversation. And for those of you who aren't here on new.livestream.com watching this afterward, it'll make a lot more sense than me answering unknown questions. So, hi everybody. Okay. How's the connection? Audio, video, streaming okay? And for the people who are saying, nice shirt, thank you. This is my favorite. It's kind of silly, and I'm kind of silly, so it works. Last week was fun, so back again. Oh, happy to have you back. I enjoy these conversations. When I first started, I was honestly a bit intimidated just because I'm really shy. It's funny when I meet people like one-on-one or like a couple of people at a time, they oftentimes don't guess that I'm really, really shy because I'm more comfortable with talking with one or two people at a time. But when I have this mental mindset of, oh, I'm going to be in front of X amount of group people, all of a sudden I get really intimidated and nervous. It even happens a little bit with these live streams where I go, okay, how many people are joining? Oh, I hope I don't say something dumb. But once in a while I say something dumb, and you guys haven't given me too hard a time about that. Even if you did, though, I would handle it just fine. So I really don't know what I get so worked up over, but I've always been shy. At first I thought that these live streams would be super, super intimidating because of that, but every single one I've enjoyed, like, massively. I look forward to them every week. I think it's really cool to get the chance to talk with you guys, like, real time. Audio is 5x5. Video is QT, or QuickTime. Excellent. We need to get her out more often to get this shyness problem resolved. I don't know, man. I don't think it'll ever totally, like, just go away. It's gotten a ton better, but it's always kind of there in the back of my head, even if I don't feel, like, overwhelmed with it. How's it going? Well, for me, it's going really well. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted just on Thursday, but last weekend, or no, I posted it on Monday, sorry. But this past weekend, I got to go to the AR-15 Roasted Nutz shoot out in Shawano, and that was a blast. It was really, really cool. What have you guys been up to this weekend? Doesn't seem too shy to me. You know, I'm working on it. If you watch my very early videos, like the ones I uploaded like 2.5 years ago, you see me like so nervous. I look like a crazy person because my first response when I'm feeling uncomfortable is to like start grinning and giggling, which makes me look like a crazy person. I mean, like more than I normally look like a crazy person. How was the SASS shooting? It was way awesome. At first I thought, well, you know, it'll be neat to try something new. I don't shoot as many revolvers as I shoot semi-autos, and the revolvers that I have shot have always been double action. And I enjoy shooting double action, so I never really thought, oh, why don't I get a single action? So there was a lot of, like, new involved with that experience. I'd never shot single action guns. I'd never shot a side-by-side shotgun, or any double barrel shotgun for that matter. I'd never even shot a breech loading shotgun, so that was all new too. I did have a little experience with lever action, so at least I had one little element that was familiar. But something that I didn't anticipate enjoying was like the whole culture of that sport. I did a match for USPSA and thought it was just a blast, but the kind of feeling of USPSA matches, it's a little bit more like the ante's a little bit more upped. Everyone's a little bit more like rushing around, you know, shoot really fast and get to your next stage really fast, and it's a little bit more stress, a little more pressure. Not that it's bad, it's just different. So when I came to the SASS shooting event and everyone was super low-key and really, really chill, even though some of the quicker shooters shot quickly, drew quickly, it still seemed to have like just a more relaxed pace overall. And I loved the history that tied into it. I'd never shot an event where there were stories to go with every stage, and that just tickled me. The person who, the stage writer, the one who came up with the stages and wrote the stories, had a theme running for each stage with some characters who were actually historical figures, but then with a story that he kind of invented. And that ended up being a fun element because it kind of makes your sport like more, I don't know, allows you to connect to it a little bit more. It felt like you were playing out a story. I enjoyed that aspect of it just as much as the actual like shooting of the event. It was great. Where are the boots? We didn't see them in the video. I do have a ton of pictures up on my Facebook. I don't recall if I put them on the business Facebook page, the facebook.com/theFateofDestinee, but I know for sure I have an entire album up on facebook.com/fate_of_destiny, and I have a whole event, or a whole album of the SASS shooting event, including images of me wearing the boots. So, I still have a ton of footage left that I haven't put up yet, that I am working on and I do want to release, but I shot footage that entire day, so I have like 5 hours or so worth of filming that I did, which, by the way, was totally difficult to try to like condense into one video. So that's part of why that first video that I put out was like 18 minutes long, because I still had like lots of just really cool, fun footage. So I have to wrap up some of that other shooting. I would go grab you my boots, but they're in my room and I don't want to go and get them right now. Maybe later I'll take a second, but we'll see how the conversation goes. I don't want to like be away from the stream for like 12 minutes finding my boots. Anyway, so if you aren't willing to wait for more videos to come out on youtube.com/FateofDestinee, you can check out the Facebook and get to see at least some of the pictures. Why is Dad banging around? He's setting some stuff up. Have you talked to Corey and Erica? Not like in the last like day or two or anything, but I speak with them. I've been out to their range for the Second Amendment shoot that they held over at their Terre Haute location. It was a lot of fun, and they're both really cool. And Erica is absolutely adorable. I really enjoyed chatting with her. Not just from the perspective of we're both females who are interested in firearms, but she's also just fun, and I found we related on a number of subjects. That was really a cool event. My dad was nice enough, so instead of having me run around looking for my boots, he grabbed one. Here is a sample of what I wore at the SASS event, and I found I like them enough that I've been wearing them just like around because I think they're pretty cool. I mean, they're like blingy. They've got sequins on them. What's not to love? There are times where I'm going to pause to get caught up with the comments for those of you who are a little newer to my live streams, because sometimes you guys will post like 5 comments and I can only read one at a time. I'm really pretty good at staying up to date with them, though. Saw a Stager on the used rack, thought of you, or side by side on the used rack, and thought of you over the weekend. Going to get into any more SASS events? Yeah, I would really like to. I mean, in part just because your first event you get a taste of what SASS is like, but at least for me, doesn't mean I'm like super good at it. And I'd like to have the opportunity to get more familiarized with how SASS is run and with how to shoot it. And even the little taste that I have gotten was plenty of fun. And that's enough inspiration for me to want to, or motivation for me to want to go to do another shoot. Hey, do you have a Parkerized 1911, or are they all stainless? I've been thinking about getting a gun grease for the outside / rails on my 1911. Actually, I did a review not terribly long ago on the Springfield Range Officer 1911. By the way, I very much enjoy that firearm as a target shooting pistol, which that's the whole point. And it is Parkerized. Parkerizing isn't my favorite finish. I guess in part I like the look, that more blingy look of a stainless gun, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the Parkerized gun. I think it looked really nice with the Coca-Cola wood grips. They contrasted nicely. Any chance you'll give the new SIG 227-45 cal a try? Oh, I would really love to. I haven't been able to get my hands on one up to this point, but, cross your fingers for me, maybe down the road. And give me just 1 second. Craig from Chain of Lakes really liked your video and hopes y'all can make it back for the archery stuff. Do you think you will? I will try to. I'll need to look at my calendar. I have a lot of stuff planned for the rest of this summer, so may or may not be able to, but it would be a lot of fun, and I at least want to try to make it back for more SASS events. But I have a hard time making sure I have everything. I have enough time to do all the stuff that I want. If I don't make a huge effort to rearrange all of my scheduling, sometimes I just can't be in all the places that I want to be. Nice boots. Thank you. I like them. They make me actually want to wear cowboy boots, which my mother loves. She gets a huge kick out of that. That lever gun you used, what caliber was it in? That was in .45 long Colt. The lever gun that I own I couldn't bring because it's a 32 special, so it's a rifle cartridge, not a pistol cartridge. So that would have done not nice things to those steel targets we were using. Checking in from Florida. Oh, where is everybody tuning in from, by the way? Y'all know I'm from Wisconsin, but it's super cool for me to see that there are people from other states and sometimes even other countries tuning in. Do you tuck your pants into the boots or wear them over them? Like my family who grew up in dairy farms, I tuck my boots in, or my pants into my boots. So that, and I just own a lot of skinny jeans, so that ends up working out for me pretty well. I know not everybody wears them like that, but that's my preference. France, West Virginia, Excelsior Springs, Missouri, Northeast Indiana, Michigan, Prospect Park, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Oh, hey, Rev, good to see you tuning in. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, St. Louis, Missouri. Wow, we got quite a spread here. That's really cool. Oh, I just put it together. France? Isn't it like 2 in the morning for you? Holy cow. Well, thanks for staying up late to chat with us a little bit. That's pretty rad. Yeah, a couple of fellow Wisconsinites. Boston, Indiana. Oh, this weekend I had mentioned that I went out to the Roasted Nutz shoot. It was held out in Shawano, which is a little bit of a drive away from me, but I had a really nice range, and there was some really cool stuff at the event. I mean, there was some competition shooting, which was fun. I did a dueling tree match with the pistol. That was a totally new experience. It's challenging, but I enjoyed it. Just shooting steel in general is fun. You get that, plink, and when you miss, dead silence. So it ends up being its own kind of, mental aspect of the shooting. Like when I would shoot and didn't take enough time to align my sights and just tried to rush the shot, and then I heard that loud silence. It could get into my head oh, darn it, oh, just come on, just get it, and sometimes I let that competitive kind of nature screw me up and get into my head, and it alters how well I shoot. So I'm still learning how to like separate myself from that little like stress aspect of competition shooting. Even though this was like super laid back, there were tons of prizes, some really neat prizes. Actually, they gave away, was it like 2 rifles? I think it was. I'll have to double check on that. I know at least one of the grand prize was a gorgeous rifle. It was really cool. I didn't win, but that's okay. I didn't go there to win. I went there to go support Wisconsin firearms manufacturers because that was the whole like point of the shoot, was to bring Wisconsinites together who are in the firearms industry. And I found out there were a lot more of them than I thought. I didn't realize there were so many like just manufacturers within the industry based out of the state. Like there was Griffin Armament, they make silencers and a couple other things. Nelson Tactical was there. Reaper Tactical was there. Actually, if you check out that video that I just released on Monday, there's a list of some of the bigger contributors. A lot of these people, or a lot of these industries, also donated like the prizes for the prize pool, which was really neat to see too. Oh, and one of my favorite things about the event was one of the ranges they kept as just like an open range. So there were some ranges were for the competitions, and then this one range, there was just like rows of black rifles. It was awesome just to see gun, 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 gun. I'd never seen so many firearms in one place, like even more than the gun stores I've been to. Well, some of them anyway. Some of the bigger like retail ones, it was kind of comparable. But it was neat to see that kind of a turnout. It was great. And I got to play with some really fun firearms. I got to shoot some silenced stuff, which was rad, and some really expensive guns that I would never have been able to shoot if those companies hadn't brought them. Shout out to Nelson Tactical and Griffin Armament especially, because some of the guns they brought were particularly fun. Some nice 1911s too, which I'm basically a sucker for a nice 1911. Not that I don't like shooting other guns. I definitely enjoy like Glocks and Smith & Wessons. I have a wide range of taste of firearms I enjoy shooting, but I think 1911s, partly because that's what kind of sparked my love for the shooting sports. I'll always have like a soft spot for them. Thank you for pronouncing my state name correctly. It is my pleasure. Sorry, I was on the phone. Where's your cowboy hat? This time I'm opting out. I don't usually wear the cowboy hat and boots. Once in a while, though. Are you going to shoot USPSA? Yes, I will. I have been trying to work on some other projects for writing, and the time that I should be spending practicing, I have a phone ringing somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Uh-oh. But the time that I should be spending practicing, I have been spending writing instead, and I really love writing, so I don't begrudge the work. But at the same time, I don't want to, I don't feel good about going into a competition unprepared, even though I don't expect myself to be some sort of like massively awesome, shooter. Just the type of person I am, I want to put the time in that I need to before I go and shoot a competition. With the first event, there's a little bit more leeway because it's the first. How am I supposed to know, what I need to practice or what I need to work on? But now that I have had some exposure to USPSA and also just SASS, same thing applies. I want to set aside time to practice more before I go and shoot my next stage. So my long, drawn out excuse is that I haven't practiced enough to feel good about going to shoot my next match. But I will. Hopefully soon. I gotta go look at the calendar. How many girls in competition shooting when you go? A couple. They're there, which is nice to see. Not as many as guys, which is not really surprising. I mean, it's not a secret that the shooting sports are still generally male-dominated. But there are girls there. And a number of them shoot better than me, which is really cool to like look up to and go, hey, I want to shoot like her. How often do you shoot your 1911? Very often as I can. I just plain enjoy shooting it, so I don't find it hard to justify going out to the range and putting a few rounds of 45 down. What generally is my limiting factor is, well, getting the ammo. And I can get ammo, but there's also the question of, can I afford it at the time? And sometimes Neo9's still cheaper if I can get a hold of that instead. And sometimes just to get trigger time, I will maybe shoot a different caliber rather than wait until I can get my hands on 45. I still... Sorry, I scratched myself accidentally. I still manage to shoot my 1911s pretty often. Can't help myself, it's fun. Nice shirt, thank you. I have a odd sense of humor, I guess, and I get a huge kick out of this shirt. How many women were at the SASS event competing, in your opinion? Would that be a better competition to start into as a woman? Because it seemed much more laid back. Yeah, actually, I do think that it's a nice way to get started. At the particular event I was, in that particular location, there was only one other female shooting that SASS event. But the atmosphere I found both at USPSA and at SASS was very welcoming. People were ready to like loan out gear and even like lend guns just to encourage other people to get started shooting competition. But as you mentioned, the SASS is just plain more laid back and it's a little bit lower stress, and that makes the idea of shooting a competition a lot less like, I don't know, scary and ominous. Like, oh no, I'm gonna do horrible. It's like, hey, I'll have fun, and it's just as much fun to watch people shoot the stages as it is to go shoot them, or at least for me. So I like the environment. Are you checking out Travis Haley on the Discovery Channel Military Channel tonight? I don't watch television. Like, there are a couple of shows I'll watch through Netflix or because I own the DVDs, but I'm really kind of out of the loop as far as, like, what's on, like, cable or whatever. I haven't had cable since I was a kid. When are we going to see Bruce go through his paces? Well, lately, because I've had that Wyndham Weaponry carbon fiber AR, the 5.56 that I have or have purchased has mostly gone to start to put that thing through its paces. But I like shooting rifles. I know it's not really a remarkable realization, but I've spent so much time shooting handguns I didn't realize that long guns, that rifles specifically, are just as much fun. So I will be hitting long range more. I still have a couple of things that I want to do. I picked up an ambi safety selector for Bruce, but I haven't installed it yet, so I need to, get on the ball with popping that in. And I want to get that done before I head out to the range with it, just because I want to see, how much more convenient it is to have that ambi safety. Okay. Is ammo a problem? I wouldn't say that it's a problem. I'm able to find the stuff, or I'm able to find ammo to shoot. Sometimes I have to be willing to get up early, which I don't like getting up early because I'm a night owl, not a morning person. And most of the places where I go to buy ammo, that's when they put it out on the shelves, is in the morning. But it is there if I'm willing to, to get up early to go get it. And sometimes if it's not at one place, it'll be at another place, and then I have to do a little bit of driving. But it's not like completely barren shelves like it was not terribly long ago, just a couple months. It seems to be kind of like creeping back. It's still not as accessible as I'd like to see it, but it is there. At least that's in my area in Wisconsin. How long do you practice when you prepare for a shoot? Many, many hours. Um, I don't know that I have like a subjective, I don't have like a strict schedule, which maybe that's part of the problem for how much I practice. I like to try to practice like an hour or two a night. Sometimes life gets in the way with, maybe my job responsibilities, or maybe I want to take some time to go and do something with my family. Or maybe I just plain didn't schedule um, all the things that I needed to get done in a day well enough. But I prefer to be able to have a couple of hours, or at least an hour a night, run some drills. That way I don't get like super exhausted with whatever it is I'm doing, but I still get the chance to work on muscle memory. Saw 22 on the shelf for the first time today. They wanted 10 cents a round for it, though. Better than nothing. That 22 is one thing that I've seen very, very little of. 9mm, 45, 40, even 5.56 I've seen.
We bought 1,000 rounds the other day, though.
But 22 has been a lot more rare. But if I do see 22, I pick it up. Pretty much de facto. And I was lucky that at the shoot that I went out to this past weekend, the Roasted Nutz shoot, Nelson Tactical was selling ammo, and I bought almost 1,000. No, actually, it was over 1,000 rounds. Over 1,000 rounds of 22 from them. So I was completely like stoked and elated to see that much 22 in one place. So I was like, "What?" It was awesome. So I bought it. Hey Des, have you considered using the SIRT laser bolt for the AR? Great practice tool. Yes, I would like to get that eventually. It is a little bit on the pricier side of what I'd like to be spending. So as far as like priorities for like gun gear that I want to get, it's a little bit lower on the list. But I like the opportunity it gives me, or it would give me, to practice at home, dry fire in the same way that I use the laser light or the SIRT pistol. I can definitely use more practice time on my AR. I am not as comfortable with wielding a rifle as I am with a pistol. Not that I think I'm, the next Annie Oakley or anything, but I at least feel confident that I know what I'm doing, and I can get I feel confident in my accuracy for self-defense with a pistol. With a rifle, it wouldn't be my first go-to. My AR SIRT is fun. Yep, they look like fun. It looks like a great tool, but I don't have one yet, so I'll just have to be jealous for a little while. We found 300 rounds of Mini-Mag hollow point at Walmart last week. First time in months. Wow. Yeah, I have yet to see it at Walmart. I saw it at Nelson Tactical, and I'll see it at the range, at the couple of different ranges that I shoot. I've seen it there, but at Walmart though, it's still kind of slim pickings. I will see like 9, 45, and 40 though at Walmart occasionally, which is cool. Hi from Germany. Well, hello from the United States. Ah, that's so cool. What's your favorite conceal holster? I prefer to carry in like hybrid inside the waistband holsters. I find that they're the most versatile for my purposes. One of the problems with being a female is we have these like curved figures, and so a lot of holsters that are on the market, they're straight waisted. They don't work as well. Leather backing though fits my figure, and that allows me to conceal effectively without having the grip of my handgun printing like mad crazy. Will you ever learn to reload as you increase competition? Yeah, definitely. I want to reload just because it would make my ammo budget stretch a little further, and because, well, the vast majority of people I've talked to in competition shooting, whether it's SASS or USPSA, they're reloaders. If they're serious, they reload. There's also that element of being able to customize your loads to what works best for your particular shooting style and your particular firearm, finding whatever types of loads that it likes best. And I think for that alone, it would probably be a worthwhile investment. All right. Do you think height matters? Top of sights, 90 degrees from barrel to the magazine for concealed carry in terms of printing. As far as my concealed carry experiences go, the sight's height is much less noticeable for my printing than the grip. And like as far as like the small of my back goes, not that I carry along my spine, but like in my hip there's a curve right here, and if I have the gun grip that goes like fits into the jeans nicely, the grip protrudes like this and it's like sticks out at an angle on the side. That is way more noticeable than the barrel or the sights or any other feature on the firearm, is that pistol grip. So shorter grips can see a little bit better, and holsters that kind of tilt the gun, that allow it to kind of tuck into my body's natural curves, that makes concealed carry way easier than like getting a gun with like low profile sights. I haven't really had any issue with like sights getting caught up on something while drawing or anything. Single stage reloader, turret, or progressive? I'll probably go with a progressive loader, get the most bang for my buck. Are you carrying now? Yes I am. I'm not going to draw it, but I'm carrying. I think it's important to house carry. Oh, I can show you, I brought a knife for funsies. I have the Benchmade Madcap here. When they still were making the Harley-Davidson line of knives, they sent me one of these, and I just think it's really pretty. But the steel is also good quality. It's hardy. It's a good boot knife, if I carried boot knives. Although I wear boots now, I could do that. I also have my more practical Benchmade. Yes, they're one of my favorite brands, so I have a number of Benchmades, but they're not the only brand I like. This is the 915 Triage. And I like that it has the glass breaker tip, a modified sheep's foot blade, and then it also has the safety like strap cutter. Oh, and I pretty much always have a flashlight on me. An Alzetta ZFL M60. Alright, getting caught back up. I saw Corey recently shooting a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. Have you gotten to shoot that gun yet? Yeah, I've gotten to shoot a couple of different M&P 9mm. I've shot a compact, and I've shot a full size. I don't think that they're bad guns, but I'm not like super in love with the trigger, so I haven't gone out and bought one for myself. But yeah, I've had some trigger time on them. Not enough to write a review, but... Do you have an EDC? Yes I do. I carry every day unless I am going to a place where it is legally forbidden for me to carry. I'm interested in protecting myself, but I'm not interested in breaking the law to do so. Getting caught back up? Oh, while on the topic of knives, what do you think of Microtech scarabs? I have never heard of a Microtech scarab. So I guess I don't think anything of them, but not anything bad either. I'm totally okay with like checking out. I'm not a brand loyalist, so I won't like, oh, if it's not a Benchmade, I won't carry it, or whatever. But if I can know, or if I find out what the steel is, and then I can learn about the quality of how that knife is going to perform for whatever tasks I may have for it, that'll be more my deciding factor of whether or not I like the knife or not. Okay. Have a favorite brand of holster? They all seem to cant at a different angle. I carry my Kimber chiefly in a crossbreed Super Tuck, and that works pretty well for me. It's comfortable. I like how broad the leather backing is. It makes it very sturdy, and it helps distribute the weight well. But lately I've been carrying my M9 in an Aegis holster, and I like the cant of that a lot. That seems to situate the gun just where I need to, which is super important if I'm going to carry that massive, like, the massive grip of that M9. It's the only way I've been able to even consider carrying it. And even then, I have to be creative with making sure I have a good like cover garment, or I'm wearing like a loose enough shirt that it obscures printing. What's your favorite type of knife steel, if you have an overall favorite type? I wouldn't say I have an overall favorite. I have a lot of knives that are 154 cm, just because it's pretty common and it's pretty affordable and it works for my purposes. I'd love to have some S30V. I would really. It's a little pricier though, which is why I don't have any yet. It can be kind of cost prohibitive. As far as like rugged use, like if I just want to beat the heck out of a knife, like use it for a freaking crowbar, then I like D2, because you can still get an edge on D2, and it's hardy as heck. So I guess I'm not even really like partial to a particular knife steel. I guess for my overall purposes, because I don't have a whole lot of like super hard, like heavy tasks for my blades, it's just more edge durability becomes more important than whether or not I can like pry something open. I like sharper, so a knife that can get a steel that can get like a real nice sharp edge, which is part of why I like S30V so much. That ends up working out nicely for me. What kind of holster do you use for your flashlight? I usually just stick it in my pocket, and I put it bezel up, and that's generally enough. Although, because I carry in my pocket, that means that the 3-cell Elzettas don't really work for me, because girl pockets are stupid like that, where they can only fit like a stick of gum. But for the most part, it's worked out just fine. Once in a while, if I have like really super shallow pants pockets, I have to be a little bit more creative about how I position it in my pocket to make sure that it stays and doesn't like pop out. But I have dropped it a couple of times, as you can kind of see from some of the wear on here, and it stands up just fine. They're hardy. Let's see. Do you have experience with the Beretta Nano? I have one, and I do carry it on occasion in a Remora holster. That seems to be really convenient, especially if I just like, I want to just pop something in my waistband real quick. I will go and grab the Nano and the Remora, because it's easy to conceal, especially if I'm just wearing jeans. It just sticks in there real nice, and I don't really have retention issues with it. Do you own any Maglite flashlights? Yes, I do. I have a number of them. We have like a really huge one too that I like to take out when I'm walking the dog, in part because, I mean, the light's bright, but also I could use it like a club if I really needed to. It's nice having that like big solid flashlight, and it's heavy. I think you could use it as a hammer. Okay. Getting caught back up. What is your opinion of full-size Kimber 1911s? I like them. I like them a good deal for the experiences I've had with them. I found my particular Kimber is a little bit picky when it comes to ammo. Some of like the really cheap stuff, if the casings aren't perfectly smooth, the tolerances are kind of tight on the Kimber, so it hiccups on them. But the ammo that I carry, no problems with, and yeah, it works for me. Sorry, I just knocked my flashlight over. I have 18 Maglites. I think we only have like maybe 5, but that's cool. They're convenient to have around. Conversely, what's the heaviest caliber? Oh, I guess I should start at what's the lightest, smallest caliber I carry for defense. I don't prefer to carry anything under 9mm, unless there is the exception that I can only conceal effectively, like one of those really tiny like mouse guns, like my P238. So I don't prefer to carry 380, and I very, very rarely do that. But, like, let's say I have to dress up for some reason. It's really difficult to, like, wear a skirt or, like, just dress nicely with, like, thinner fabric clothes, and be able to conceal a full-size pistol. It's very difficult. Or even some of the 1-inch thick subcompacts. So for that, tucking into like a little belly band or even a thigh holster, the P238, real easy to conceal. I'd rather carry a 380 than nothing. Conversely, what's the largest caliber you're comfortable with carrying? 45. That's the largest caliber that I carry. In part just because if I'm carrying 45, I'm usually carrying a 1911. Not always, but I feel comfortable with how well I handle that. So that's the largest I've carried up to this point. And I don't know that I would really want to carry anything larger, per se. I just don't prefer to shoot 40s. Not that somebody who shoots a 40 is doing something wrong or anything. I just don't like how they snap. And I would rather have the push of a 45 than the snap of a 40. Are you afraid of a negligent discharge from your bracelet? No, I am not. There's no powder or anything. They're completely inert. They're just for show. Although the links are real. It would be really heavy if I carried a bracelet of like live rounds. I don't know that I'd feel. I don't know. It would be kind of funny to have like that little resource of ammo for my rifle, I suppose. But I wear it purely for fashion. What magazines do you use for your Kimber? I have Kim Pro Tac mags. I also was carrying for a while a was it MagTech? Well, I prefer the Kim Pro Tac mags because they work well. I haven't had any hiccups with them. Like, they feed reliably, and the flush mags are easier to conceal. Live rounds! Do it! Have you ever had an ND at all? I have not. I have witnessed them. Like, I've been close to them. I've seen them happen, and it is really scary. And it has definitely, like, burned the importance of the maintaining your firearm safety rules into my brain, just because it can really, negligent discharges can cause a whole lot of bad really quickly, really easily. It encourages, knowing that they have happened to people I know, just makes me want to be that much more hyper vigilant. Oh, hi, Nate. Welcome to the conversation. And for those of you who I haven't welcomed yet, who are newer arrivals to the convo, welcome, and thanks for taking some time to chat with me for the live stream. Metgar, that was who I was trying to think of. Thank you. I was drawing a blank. I don't know why. I guess because I haven't used it in a while. And those, I've had no feeding issues for the Metgar magazines. They've worked lovely for me. Just the mags that I had, they had a nice little bumper, which I like the bumper for like the speed of reloads. It seems to be easier for me to grab that and reload it than the flush mag, but when it comes down to it, it's just plain more difficult for me to conceal having that little bumper on the end, because that, like I was talking about before, that pistol grip is the biggest impediment to whether or not I'm printing or concealing effectively without printing. How often do you go live? This is my 9th live stream, but since I started them, I've been doing them, or hosting these conversations once a week, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central at new.livestream.com/FateofDestinee. And I'm really enjoying them. I think they go pretty well. The conversation generally flows pretty smoothly. The biggest live stream we've had, I think we broke 100 people watching, which was super, super cool. And we're at 71 right now. Thanks, guys. So we had enough engagement for me to keep going. And I guess that means I'll just keep hosting them. Oh, and I generally run them for about an hour and a half. That seems to be a nice amount of time for people to be able to tune in, tune out. Even if they don't make the whole show, they can a lot of times tune in for part of it. It is kind of hard to accommodate other people who like live overseas, you know, not in the States. But I try, and that's also why I take the recordings of these live events and I post them up on youtube.com/FateofDestinee for those people who maybe they worked, or maybe they live in another country, or something happened and they can't make the live event. They can at least like catch up on the conversation afterward. How do you conceal in that shirt? Cool shirt, by the way. When I wear it, I guess a form-fitting shirt instead of like a loose flowing shirt, I will either wear a cover garment like a hoodie or a jacket, or I have this purse. I call it my ugly bag because the pattern on it is fabulously ugly, and I get the hugest kick out of that. I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that, I guess. But the thing about the bag is it's this backpack style purse, and the way that the bag sits, it's just above where the grip of my pistol sits. What's nice about that is it keeps it out of the way for when I go to reach and draw, but it almost completely obscures any printing. So if I'm wearing a t-shirt that I would normally print in, put on the ugly bag and we're Gucci. Ever had an ND at all? Nope. And I work vigilantly so that I don't ever have one. What's your project or plans this upcoming weekend? I have a super secret big production video I'm working on, so stay tuned, and it will release on Thursday at youtube.com/FateofDestinee. And then I have another really, really big project that I am still working on. So you'll just kind of have to keep your eye out for that. Really big one. I think you'll know it when it happens, but it's not ready yet, so. Oh, it looks like some people are having some buffering issues, and other people are recommending to refresh.
Yeah, hit F5.
Just hit F5. I'm looking at my feed, and it says that we're still recording, so hopefully you'll be okay. I need a snack. Be back shortly. Enjoy your snack! Actually, snack sounds really good. I have this wonderful habit, which when I say wonderful, I mean that sarcastically, of completely forgetting to eat. And I will just go, like, especially if I'm focused on some sort of project, whether it's writing or video production or even recording, where I will totally, like, not eat for a whole day. Not because I'm trying to starve myself because I think I'm fat or whatever. I mean, I think I'm pretty average. I could stand to lose a couple pounds, but it's not, like, #1 on my priorities list. But I'll just, like, not eat for hours and then just be, like, freaking out, shaky, and, like, lightheaded. What's wrong with me? And, like, my siblings or my dad are like, maybe you should eat. You know, like a normal person. Feed yourself. I'm not really good at that. The refreshed worked. Excellent! I wish I had that bad habit. And my mom teases me about that, too. Because, it's even worse when I'm, like, stressed out. Then I have zero appetite and I don't want to eat. But I don't know, managing my weight isn't like a super important goal to me. I like staying fit and relatively in shape, so if I'm like slacking off and eating crap for a while and I start to see a lot of pudge in my cheeks, I think that maybe it's time to hit the treadmill again. Maybe I should, eat a few less cheeseburgers or whatever. But where did you learn Spanish? Well, I don't look it, but I am part Hispanic, so I have learned some of it at home, and I've learned most of it in school. I've learned Spanish in school since I was in elementary, and also in middle school, also in high school, also in college. So I can speak it at home with my family, but most of the like learning grammar and structure, and funny enough, most of my vocabulary has been very academic. So I've had friends who tease me when I speak Spanish with them who tell me I sound like I'm like reading out of a textbook. What's funnier is like when I speak with, or just listening to some of my relatives speaking Spanish, they speak it quicker than I do, and so I can listen to it and comprehend most of it, but I have a hard time like keeping up in the conversation because Spanish is my second language, even though I have been learning it since I was like, I don't even know, since I was a kid. It just, I have to like mentally flip that switch. Part of that is because I don't speak it often enough. And it's a shame, really, because I enjoy it, but I guess if I don't make an effort to practice it, that skill kind of languishes, like with anything. Hablo en español, por favor, poquito, si prefieres. Every time somebody asks me to speak in Spanish, though, I always hit that wall of like, I don't know what to talk about. And then I feel like an idiot. One thing that my mom has always loved since I was a kid, because she is not a Spanish speaker, she doesn't know like any Spanish, she'll ask me to like translate something for her. I think it was almost like a game. As a kid, it was like a game for me. It was fun. But then as like a teenager, it was like, oh my god, Mom, why don't you know how to say this? But I was a teenager, so, you know. I've got a working knowledge of Spanish, but I'm not fluent. I'd have what I'd call probably a conversational fluency. I can generally understand when somebody is speaking at me, and I know enough to be able to say what I want to them. Where I really struggle, and where I have always had this like huge grammatical pitfall, is with the subjunctive tense, because it doesn't exist in English. We don't have a verb tense for I would like to accomplish something, but I don't know whether or not it's going to happen. So it is so difficult. Plus, there are all these different like irregulars and just weird rules, and it's just a lot to remember. So if I'm faltering when I'm conversating with someone in Spanish, like 90% of the time, it's I can't remember how to conjugate for the subjunctive tense. Plus, there's subjunctive past, subjunctive present progressive. It's crazy. I'm back. Should be in Washington State now. Truck was acting up. Had to turn around and abort. Oh no. Well, I hope the rest of your trip goes safely. I enjoy road trips, but when things don't go wrong, it can get stressful. I had a road trip where, oh gosh, what was it? We were leaking oil like crazy. Like really bad. I think on one trip we had to dump like 4 quarts of oil just to get where we were going. That was stressful. But we got it fixed before our next road trip. Hey Des, what sort of 308 rifle do you shoot? Lately it's been the SOCOM, the Springfield SOCOM, and I really like it. The thing is kind of heavy though. It's like a 12-pound rifle, or at least it feels that way. And it has the Viltor rails on it, which kind of add to the weight. But because it has those rails, I want to get a bipod for it. And I haven't gotten around to picking it up yet, but it would be really cool. How cognizant of where the door is in an establishment do you tend to be? Very cognizant, actually. My friends tease me sometimes whenever I go out with them, because they'll be like, why do you have to sit there? Because I just prefer to, when I'm going into a restaurant or whatever, I want to be able to see the doors, see who's coming in, and see who's going out. My dad's the same way, which is probably why I'm that way, because I was raised like that. It's just kind of second nature. SOCOM 2 kicks ass. Had one but got rid of it. Just bought an Israeli FAL. I got to shoot my first FAL not very long ago. It was a lot of fun. I get teased constantly for making sure when I sit I can see that with the door view. Yeah, no, I understand that. I don't know, feel better knowing what's going on around me. Situational awareness, right? What inspired you to get into martial arts? Well, to start off with, it was a family thing. Like my brother was doing it, then my mom started going to classes, and my dad got into martial arts, so of course I had to. And then it became this nice like family activity, and for many years it was just one of the ways my family bonded. We would go to our taekwondo classes, our hapkido classes together, which is a lot of fun. And like my dad and my brother especially just have this like wonderful knack of just understanding, having body awareness and understanding how to get their body to move in the ways that they want, to execute new techniques, or to be very quick thinking in their strategy when they're sparring. And I've always admired that, so I kind of feel like I have to like keep up the pace. And I'm probably not giving myself enough credit, but I've always been a super perfectionist, and I've always been very hyper analytical of how good I am at something. It's great though in the way that it motivates me to want to work harder to improve myself at whatever skill I'm learning, whether it's martial arts or writing or singing a song. Sorry, I needed some lemonade. I was getting thirsty. Talking is some dry work. Hey Des, my dad is the same as yours. Did your dad do any close protection or similar? Well, my father grew up, or well, I wouldn't say grew up in the military, but he had military service, and so he has a military background. I think that was probably part of it. But I don't know anything about like close service. I know he kind of grew up in a really bad neighborhood though, so that was probably more of a factor than anything. Alright, I'm getting caught back up on the comments. Sorry, guys. Oh, he's telling me he fought a lot growing up. No, that makes sense. Hey, you guys just learned something new at the same time I learned something new. I miss studying Taekwondo. I don't practice as much as I used to. I wouldn't say that it's because I don't have the time to, because I believe that you only have the time for things you make time for. But I have priorities that I have elevated above my training in martial arts. So that always takes like second or even third rung to like writing or making videos. That is a huge part of what I like to spend my time on now. And so I still enjoy training in martial arts. And I recognize there are a whole lot of benefits, not just to like staying in physical shape, but also for like keeping your mind sharp. Especially sparring. I really enjoy sparring. It makes you think really hard, really quickly. You have to be able to make those snap decisions. The dad of Destiny is a bamf. I happen to think so, but I might be a tiny bit biased because he's my dad. He's shaking his head, though. He's saying, no, I'm not. But I think he's pretty awesome. I'm just going to say that. Have you ever shot a Desert Eagle 50? Not yet. I would really like to. It's on my list of like firearms experiences that I'd like to have. Like I've shot the 500 Magnum. Love it. And I've shot the 4-inch barrel version and the 8-inch barrel, which I think the 4-inch barrel version is just plain more fun. That 8-inch barrel, yeah, it kind of kicks less, but the thing is heavy. And I have these tiny little arms, so when I'm holding that really heavy gun out, I can get maybe like 2 rounds, and then my arms get tired, and that just kind of takes away a little bit from the experience. It's still a blast, but I think the 4-inch model is more of a blast. But now that I have that under my belt, I'd really like to try the 50 Action Express, just to say that I've done it, more than anything else. Thanks, Des. See you next chat. Well, thanks for joining us for a little while. For the rest of you, I'll still be on for another half an hour. Singing vids. I'm so far behind. I know, I keep telling you guys I'm going to put them up, but I have all these wonderful projects that I'm working on, both for writing as well as for videos. I do have some new stuff that's in the works. Let me see what I can do tonight about getting at least a video up for some of the singing bits. I guess it's just the singing isn't my priority because I like shooting so much, and I have all this shooting footage that I want to be able to produce and make really nice videos and show you guys. So I've been working on that above putting my singing videos up. But I apologize, and I will at least get one up tonight. All right. Make sure it's a gold-plated one. Oh man, that would really like be the quintessential 50 AE experience, wouldn't it? Do you have your own guns? Oh yeah, I have a number of guns. Never enough, I guess, because there's always something out that I would like to get that I don't have yet. It's just part of having the gun bug, so to speak. Once you get into any sport, it's really easy to want to expand your gear that you have for that sport. My buddies who paintball will tell you the same thing. Yeah, they have one paintball gun, but it doesn't do XYZ. I feel kind of the same way about my firearms. Like um I've got some rifles, some handguns, some shotguns. And I do get guns for T&E that I send back or get the option to purchase, which I have a hard time saying no to more often than not, because a lot of the guns I get to try out are pretty rad. But, yeah, I own a number of guns. I like firearms, so it's easy for me to justify as long as I can afford it. That's usually the limiting factor, isn't it always? Ever been pulled over while carrying? I have never been pulled over, ever. I don't even have a speeding ticket or a parking ticket or anything. What is your absolute favorite go-to snack, Des? My all-time favorite snack food is Granny Smith apples, especially those really huge ones. But they have to be the right ripeness, because if they're too green, they give me a stomach ache, even though I'll eat them anyway. But if I'm going for like junk food, I have my like guilty pleasure is Ritz crackers with like spray can cheese. I freaking love that stuff. It's fabulous. I don't care that it's like basically plastic coming out of that can. I love it. About those singing videos, because they're not related to, guns, gear, and fitness, I will be putting them up on youtube.com/allthingsdestiny. So if you are interested in checking that out, pop on over to All Things Destiny. That's where I'll have my more like creative-minded projects or behind-the-scenes stuff, whatever kind of doesn't seem to fit with the Fate of Destiny, I'll throw up on All Things Destiny. Steak or burger? Ugh, steak if I can get it, but I definitely love cheeseburgers. That's like one of my biggest weaknesses. Cheeseburgers are the bomb. You live in Wisconsin, you can't eat easy cheese. I can eat squeezy cheese if I want! I think that means I can justify it even better, because that's just one of the many forms of cheese Wisconsinites are allowed to enjoy, right? Besides, I'm in Wisconsin and I say so. Spray cheese is the shiz. You don't even know. Okay, I'm getting caught back up. I just wanted to say, Des, how much I enjoy your YouTube channel and you as a person. Very interesting and balanced views. Aw, thank you. That was really sweet. I mean, I just am me, and so sometimes that's goofy, and sometimes I don't have the kind of reviews that other channels offer. But I make the videos that are fun for me, and so it's that much nicer when somebody else gets enjoyment out of them too. I appreciate that there are people who I've never met who even take 5 minutes to sit down and watch one of my videos. I think that's one of the coolest things. Like, I didn't ask you, my mother doesn't even watch my videos. Like, once in a while I'll be like, Mom, will you please check out this video? I'm really excited about it. And she'll be like, oh, if I have the time. And sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. So if somebody else wants to watch the video and likes it, that's so cool to me. Ooh, how do you order your steak? Bloody. Just about as raw as they'll give it to me. I really enjoy just steaks in general. I will never be able to be a vegetarian, so people who want to go out and do that because that's really important to their values, like, good on them. I couldn't. I love steak. I love burgers. I love tacos. Tacos are one of my favorites, too. I can eat a lot of tacos. Like, even, like, Taco Bell tacos. I don't care. Oh, yeah, rare steak is boss. That's something I prefer. I'll eat medium well, definitely, but it just has so much more flavor rare, I think, anyway. I love it when my dad will cook steaks and it'll just be steak, a little bit of salt. Sometimes that's all you need. Do you have tactical gear like a vest? Not yet. I keep thinking I'll get around to it, especially for some of the training events I go to. It would be nice to have a way to carry like a bunch of magazines at once or something. But most of the training I've done up to this point, it's been sufficient to have my gun belt and have some stuff on it. Ketchup on steak? I can't say I've ever tried that. I don't know that I would do that. I like A1. Especially if I have a steak that's like not rare and like it's maybe medium, then I'm gonna drown that thing in A1 because A1 is delicious. Alright, getting caught back up again, guys. I love the long thread on steak that we started. And now I'm totally hungry because, surprisingly, I know, I can't remember the last time I ate.
I'm gonna have to fire up the grill today.
Dad's reading all these comments. He says, I'm gonna have to fire up the grill today. Ooh, we have potatoes too. We could make homemade french fries. Oh, that would be delicious. Steak and potatoes. That sounds like basically the best dinner of ever. Or at least one of them. Addicted to A1 as well. We should have a support group. You know you want steak after this. Yeah, I know. I do. And I don't even have any in the freezer, so I will have to like go out and get some. Thanks, guys. It's cool. I needed to do some grocery shopping anyway. A great steak needs nothing. I'm inclined to agree with you. Although I like A1, so I will certainly use A1. What does your dad think about your YouTube channel? I think he likes it. He's involved with a lot of the projects, in part because I coerce him into, Dad, please help me, I can't video myself. And in part because he's a huge firearms enthusiast. And so if I'm going shooting, more often than not, he's going shooting with me anyway because we like shooting together. It's, I think it's our family activity that has replaced martial arts in our life. We definitely go shooting more than we go to martial arts classes. And I have shot by myself, but it's not as much fun. I really like that exchange of going with like my dad and my brother and my sister, and we all like, oh, look what I did, look at this bullseye, or, oh man, I totally winged that shot. Yeah, what were you doing? Get your head in the game, man. Giving each other a hard time and stuff. It's a wonderful bonding experience, just as much as it is fun to shoot for the sake of shooting. We also compete with each other. We're kind of a competitive bunch, come to think of it. I've always been a very competitive person, which is a big part of why I don't like team sports. Not as much fun for me. But when I'm competing with my family, because there's a different mood to it, it's much more fun for me. It's much more enjoyable. And it's just a family manner of expression to give each other a hard time. It's that's how we express affection for each other, is by teasing. And it challenges me to get better at shooting too, by holding these little fun competitions with each other. And Dad of Destiny, I still have that RPK for trade for your Platinum Elite. Just saying. You made him laugh. I don't know if you can hear him chuckling, but he definitely cracked more than a smile at that one. Does your mom go shooting? Once in a while. She's not against the fact that I'm into firearms and that I can still carry. Actually, she still kind of has a hard time with the concealed carry thing. If she can't see it, she doesn't really bring it up. But if it's a time where maybe I didn't care about printing because I knew I was just going to be hanging out at my mom's, she'll be like, "Oh, are you carrying today?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I have my permit here." She'd be like, "Okay." So she's supportive of the fact of what I do for a living and the fact that I choose to conceal carry, but I think she's not as much of an enthusiast as I am. So she'll go, I took her shooting for Mother's Day one year, and that was fun, and she had a great time. But she definitely doesn't go shooting with us, like, all the time. This is a once-in-a-while thing. Oh, you have to become a prepper. We're counting on you to survive when SHTF. There are a lot of aspects about prepping that I find very appealing. Like, there's so much of it that makes sense to, well, look at, like, I'm in Wisconsin, in Tornado Alley. There have definitely been, even in the time that I've lived here, tornadoes that have gone through and torn pieces off of people's homes and knocked out power for a few days and, you know, and stuff. So it would really behoove me to have preparations more than I do. I mean, we have a couple of canned goods, some bottled water, you know, but there is a lot of it that I'd like to learn more about, and have only just started doing that research. So I definitely wouldn't call myself a prepper, but I'm interested in learning more. Do you prefer beef steak or deer steak? I love deer, but I think I like beef steak better. My mom makes a pretty mad, like, venison meatloaf, though. I'm totally into that. It's delicious. Hey, Destiny's dad, here's a question for you. What's your favorite rifle? Can you even pick a favorite? How does one narrow it down? I don't know, you like that M107A1. I don't think you've ever shot it, but...
The 240 Bravo is technically a rifle, isn't it?
Yeah. Dad says the 240 Bravo is his favorite. I had moose once. That wasn't that bad. I can't say I've ever tried moose. I wouldn't be opposed. As far as food goes, I'll try pretty much anything. Like, I've had escargot, which was way better than I thought it would be. It ended up tasting actually kind of like clams. It had the same, like, texture anyway. So I'll try any food. Pretty much any food once. But that doesn't mean I'll like it. Like, I'm not big on liver. It just grosses me out. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. And I love the taste of onions, especially with beef. But for some reason, I can't seem to, like, I don't know, they hate me. And I get, like, these massive, awful, like, stomach cramps. And, just, like, it feels really uncomfortable and I feel like I'm dying. So I choose not to eat onions, usually. And once in a while I'll go, it's just a little bit of onion, it's not that bad. And then I spend the next, like, 4 hours going, I'm dying. And my dad says, why did you eat onions? That wasn't very good. Or that wasn't a very good idea. But I qualified on that for the military last month. Nice! I would love to shoot one. I haven't gotten that opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of, like, military firearms that I would love to have some trigger time on that I haven't, that I just kind of, like, drool over from a distance. I'm getting caught back up on comments, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Deer chili. I have had deer chili. I really like it. At least how I've had it. I mean, everybody has their own kind of recipe for making chili, but the stuff I've had, I'm down for. I like it. I'm not a terribly picky eater. Like, I mean, like I said before, I'll try just about any food, but my parents are really big on, when I was growing up, this isn't have it your way Burger King. You eat what we make for dinner, or you go make yourself a PBJ. Which, incidentally, I really love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, a lot. I really love them. But it also means that I don't, like, freak out over, like, I'm not super picky with my food. Plus, I'm a terrible cook, so if I were really picky about food, I'd go hungry all the time. LOL and everyone geeking out about food. Yeah, but everybody can relate to liking good food. Because it's dinner time. Exactly. It is also time for noms. As a martial artist / prepper, have you ever read The Art of War? I downloaded it for my Nook just recently. I haven't finished it, though. But my dad is telling me he's read it. So it's only a matter of time before I finish it. Melt semi-sweet chocolate into your chili. But I don't like chocolate. That doesn't sound like an improvement. I eat chocolate like maybe 3 times in a year. It's not like once in a blue moon that I eat chocolate. It's like once in a, I don't know, green moon I eat chocolate. I'm just not a really big chocolate person. When I was a kid, for Halloween, I'd go trick-or-treating and everything, and I'd either trade my chocolates away for sour candy, or I'd just plain, like, give them to, like, my dad or whoever. Actually, I had a boyfriend one time who, for one of the first, like, couple of dates, didn't know that about me, gave me this big old box of chocolates, and my brother and my dad ate them that night. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I didn't like chocolate because I felt so bad that he went on and made this effort. But I don't know, it was just kind of funny. It's something we still joke about. You know what? I think it's time for a CCW check. What are you guys carrying? Dang, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, me too. I'm totally, as soon as this live stream is done, I'm gonna go and, like, buy steak. I gotta eat something. I'm, like, too hungry after all this talk about deliciousness. LMAO Des, that's hilarious. Yeah, as soon as I showed my family what he had given me, like, the box of chocolates, they're like, and they took it. They just, like, snagged it. There wasn't even a question of, oh, are you gonna eat that? They already knew I wasn't gonna eat that. It was just gonna sit there, and I don't know, does chocolate go bad?
We finished
But
it in like 5 minutes.
they finished it in like a few minutes. It was pretty funny. Alright, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, Glock 26 and SOG Flash, Glock 30 SF, the 240 Bravo, dang! Glock SIG and 357. Oh, I've been meaning to shoot 357s. I've never shot that caliber. Not yet, anyway. PF9. Unfortunately, I don't currently own any firearms. Oh, that's a bummer. Do you at least get to shoot? Do you go to a range, or are you... I don't actually know if you are in a country that would allow you to do that. I think... I recognize your name, though, so I think you're American. If I'm wrong, though, I apologize. My Colt Combat Commander 1911. Awesome. SIG 1911. So I'm quick rubbing it in Illinois' face! CCW, come quickly! Soon! I carry nothing, because unfortunately I live in Brazil. That is a bummer. Hey, you can carry the 240 Bravo, it just sucks when you carry the ammo plus spare barrel. Yeah, I would probably be not so good with that. I'm not a complainer, but I'm not muscular. I have like 0 upper body strength. It happens. I mean, yeah, I'm a girl, but I'm a girl with like extra lame upper body strength. Des, do you plan to get an Illinois concealed carry license? I have been thinking about it. I mean, that's 16 hours worth of training, so that's something to consider, and I need to make sure I'm going somewhere where they would have their license as far as like Illinois' kind of restrictive laws are. But with some of the traveling that I do, I end up going through Illinois a lot, and it is such a pain in the butt to have to, before I get to Illinois, like take everything off and make it all safe and unload everything and store it all special and lock it all up. And plus, oh, by the way, that means I'm not carrying it, which is not my preference in the first place. So for that reason, it does kind of make sense for me to go out and get a permit, even with the 16 hours worth of training and everything. And it is a little bit expensive, but it does last for 5 years, so I can kind of justify, you know, if I think of that cost being split up over those 5 years. But I suppose I will see what happens when the law is actually released, or goes into effect, rather. Sorry, not released. Alright, we got a Rock Island 45 Compact, Bursa 380. Serious question, have you ever thought about writing a book and getting it published? I have a couple of books in the works, actually, so yes, I've thought very seriously about writing a book. It took some encouragement from my family, because taking on that kind of project is intimidating. especially because it's new and I've never tried it before. And being a perfectionist, I want to do really, really well. But I've started it, and I'm excited. And you guys will be the first to know when it's done. Because I will definitely be like, oh, I wrote a book, I finally did it, YouTube! Because you guys are my friends, and I want to, share that part of my life with you. My daughter Ella says hi. Oh, hi! Thanks for watching. She's 4. Aw, that's adorable. When you are out and about, or walking, or grocery shopping, so people recognize you, go, oh my god, it's Destinee! I don't really get recognized a whole lot. When I go to the range, which, kind of makes sense, because that's the crowd who are watching my videos, or people who like firearms. I think it has happened, like, just a couple of times where, like, the time where I was out visiting my brother before he shipped overseas, and I was, in El Paso, Texas, and I figured that's the last place I'm going to get recognized. At least at, like, the couple of ranges I frequent, I kind of more expect it because I'm there often. And even if they don't recognize me from YouTube, I might be recognized for just like, oh, yeah, she's in here all the time. That's, Destinee or whatever. She has a YouTube channel. But I was recognized by somebody, complete stranger. He came up to me, you're FateofDestinee. I was just like, how did you know? But I'm not like some sort of like celebrity that I just walk around like, yeah, that's right, I'm famous. Premise of the book, you're just gonna have to wait until it's done. But when it is done, I promise I will talk to you guys about it and see what you think. But it's not done yet. And she's waving back. Ah, that's so cute. It's my pleasure. 2 waves now, just because that's really adorable. Do you wear any gun shirts? Yeah, I do. I've got a number of shirts from Endo, just because I like them. Some of them are so sassy, and I can't help but to get a kick out of them. But I am selective about where I go when I'm wearing those. Oh, that for anybody who doesn't know, that's Every Day, No Days Off. They're a firearms-related blog, which I happen to read. But he also, the guy who runs Endo, also has a shirt, a t-shirt line. And I like a lot of the shirts because, some of them are just clever, and some of them are funny, and they're all gunny related. Oh, I get thirsty doing this, and then I forget that I have a water sitting right next to me and go, man, I'm really oh duh, I have a water. Anyway, I am selective about where I wear my firearms, like, enthusiast t-shirts, just because it's a little easier to make a person for being a concealed carrier if they're wearing a gun t-shirt. But some of them, like, I've got a t-shirt that says 5.56 by 45 over and over again. And unless you're into firearms, generally, most people don't, like, put that together that, oh yeah, that's a firearm caliber for an AR-15 or whatever. So some of the shirts I'll wear out. And sometimes, like, the more, like, I've got the New York Reload t-shirt where it looks like it's the New York Metro, but it's got, like, 2 guns depicted on it. I'm very selective about where I wear that. That's mostly just, like, around the house. Do you have an online store where fans can purchase those FOD hats and shirts? I've kind of experimented with, like, shirts and hats. Like, I have my logo. I haven't really pushed it. It's just kind of a lot of effort to... I'm already so busy with writing and doing the videos and stuff. Hey Des, a gun idea. Your logo engraved on your AR receiver. I don't think I'm ready for that. I do like the logo though, but mostly just because it symbolizes what my channel's about, and that's a huge part of my effort.
I bet you a lot of people don't get it.
Oh, would you hand me my hat over there, actually? It's just to your left. On top of that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't, like, noticed it, this is my logo. You've got the F, the target reticule makes the O, and then the D around there, and these little wings in the more detailed version of the logo are made of little rounds, so of different calibers. And then, yeah, the target. Oh, and then I have a K-bar right through it. And I thought that that was like a neat way to kind of summarize what my channel is really about. Guns, knives, gear, shooting sports, and me. My experience with all of that. So I'm not like trying to really, push buy my gear, everybody. But I like it. I like having some out there for me mostly. I mean, I created it so that I have something to wear. And it's something that I put a lot of time into my videos, so I like having that. A tattoo with your logo? Gosh, that'd be like getting like my own autograph or something, like my own signature tattooed on me. I don't think I could do it. I would feel too self-serving. I don't know. My mom likes the idea though. She's like, "Oh, it's cute though." And I mean, I like the logo. I designed it. But I don't know. I don't think I could get a tattoo. I mean, the permanence of that. What if in 5 years I decide I don't want to make videos anymore because it's not fun, but then I'm stuck with this tattoo of my YouTube channel? Like, ugh. Gotta plan ahead for that. Just in case. I don't see myself running out of ideas anytime soon, but you never know. By the way, we have 4 minutes left in the chat. So, if you haven't already, check out my YouTube channels, FateofDestinee. You're probably already following that, but if you don't know, I post a video every Thursday in addition to these live conversations, which, if you missed the live conversation from a different week or you can't make one, I am recording this live session right now, and I will upload it later to YouTube. Sometimes I can get them up quicker than others. It depends on what else I have going on, but I get it out during the week before the next live conversation. Also, I'm managing editor for thearmsguide.com, so if you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to stop by, say hello, let us know what you think about the site. We release content every day about guns, gear, and the shooting sports. We try to make it a friendly environment for people to learn about firearms, so whatever your experience level is, there should be some article content that'll be up your alley. Also, I've recently started contributing to thebangswitch.com. I really enjoy working with that group of writers. Some very knowledgeable firearms enthusiasts there. And that website was set up by one of my friends in the YouTube world, Tim from the Military Arms channel. So pop by there and check out the content. Let us know what you think. Also, for more, if you are interested in following up on more content from me, I have 2 Facebook pages, facebook.com/thefateofdestinee and facebook.com/fate.of.destiny, and I post a lot of pictures that go with whatever events I'm attending. I will throw up on that channel. I also like to share links from different news articles of stuff that relates to firearms and my interests in the shooting sports and the politics that affect them. So even if you're not interested in seeing some of, the photos or whatever, a lot of really interesting discussion is fostered through those articles, and I'd love to see you weigh in, see what you think about some of these articles I find. My cat says, "See ya." Your last article on the Bang Switch was good stuff. Thank you. I spent a lot of time on that one. That went through a lot of different revisions before I finally found the way I wanted to say what I had to say. So it was quite a process. But I ended up with an article that I felt good about. So I'm glad that you liked it too. That means a lot to me. This was my first live chat. I think I'm going to do it again. Well, I would welcome you. I'd definitely encourage you to come to next week's. I'm hosting them every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central at new.livestream.com/FateofDestinee. And even if you can't make it for the entire hour and a half, you can pop by for a few minutes, say hello, and chat with me for a little bit. I enjoy the conversation regardless of how long you tune in. It's nice to say hi. Okay. Also, well, for anybody, whether you've been on for a few minutes or the whole conversation, thanks for joining. I really have fun talking with you guys. I don't get an opportunity like this otherwise to engage with so many people at the same time and have conversations in real time about shooting sports and food and pets and whatever else. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day to sit here and chat with me. Well, that is it. Our time is up. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week.